Welcome to another video and episode on my BeagleBoard Classic right here, which runs Ubuntu Linux, programmed in Python and connected to the monitor, of which you can see the edge here via HDMI. The monitor is essential to manage to boot correctly. And in the same way, this serial cable, flat cable, is essential. It is connected to serial extension cable connected to USB to serial converter, and it is connected to serial terminal minicom, also essential to boot. Apart from that, connected to USB cable and connected to USB hub, which is connected to the fischertechnik interface, robo interface, and network for VNC. And via the robo interface, it controls, in this case, a roller track or marble run or whatever name you want to give to it. Starting from the top, it uses gravity to go down and then ending up at the bottom of this chain. Now, here, in this case, everything runs nicely, although not always. And upon pressing this switch, it goes that way, and then it takes a looping, which is right here, a looping, and it ends up here. My attempt was to put a screw pump here to transport the balls from here to here, and that couldn't work out because the parts that I needed didn't work out, and also the screw pump made it impossible for the balls to lay down. The problem is that the ideal angle for the screw pump is too steep for it to run nicely. Apart from that, where do I put this motor? Right here, in no space. Right here, hard to put. So then the idea was to use something like this at the end of this curve, and there is what I'm going to do next, which is another attempt to get it done, but for that this track needs to be changed. So that is up next, and rolling this or putting this ball in it. This runs nicely for now, but this track will no longer end here, but here somehow. How? That's another question. Anyway, let's see. Alright, so with a different angle, and let's see how everything is. First of all, diagnosis interface, displaying the motors and the digital inputs, outputs, and so on. Maybe not needed, maybe I do. Terminal, from which I do start this program for the source code, and also for starting the program itself. Then this is, I should name it, this minicom. Without this I can't even start it. Then obviously the oscilloscope set to pulse width modulation, since everything from the robo interface is pulse width modulated as far as motors and lamps go. Pulse width modulation is block wave, and the larger the upper side of the block, the faster something goes, and the smaller it is, the slower it goes. So currently motor, switch and switch, and this is where the purple switch is this one, and the blue switch is this one. And then it helps if I show you better. So again, the purple one is this one and the blue one is this one. So if I now press it, you can see whatever happens. Each cell is 10 volts. So let's see whatever happens or should happen. This is currently inadequate to use it. Well, in the current situation, of course, it can be used. So let me manually hold it like this. Then with a ball coming through the loop, and then it is supposed to run through. So let me once again do it, and yes, it goes all the way through. However, because of this part, that should be the bottom side of the chain, I have to elevate it. Would it be nice to have some more magnets to it? Certainly a possibility, if I have enough magnets, that is. On the other hand, this has proven not to be a very good idea. Also, I have to lay the balls in there with the very big risk that they roll off. So, chain yes, these parts I doubt it. Do I have enough magnets? Well, otherwise I take magnets off the long chain. But apart from that, I need to elevate this track enough that they stay that same altitude there. And the question is, how do I keep this course? That is a very big question. Right now I'm not quite sure. But I'm going to try. So let's make another reconstruction and look for magnets. Now I'm having a bit of a problem. I didn't start really with this. I was looking at the motor, because I have found 2 magnets, so that problem is solved. So now I don't really drop them, I treat the balls exactly the same way, in the way that I treat it with the other chain, and that gives a problem. I have to be near this part of the track, really nearby. So essentially you have a ball, let me put one on it, there's a ball, and then essentially you scrape it off. and that might go well, but the motor has to be near enough, because this is how it will run. And then if you take out this axle and extension and you put this gear directly here, yes, it can be done, but what angle do you need? And if it runs, so dry run, then it comes in a certain angle, and it just may work. May. I have to test it. Otherwise, it is with the extension, the axle becomes way too long to nicely be able to mount it. So let me put it back on. So then you have this distance, and you mount it to the big pole there. But then you say you have here the gear, and here you have the track. That's not going to work. So I rather do it without that axle. Will it work? I will soon see. Let's mount it and see how that works out. Right now I have hooked up the chain with magnets to the power controller, and the chain is rather, well, weak, but this is just for testing purposes, so let's switch it on. And this shows that there is a problem. Yeah. I should not be doing this way, and that's unfortunate. If I tighten it, what will happen then? So I hold my finger like this, or, well, hold my finger like this and see whatever happens then. Also interference with, let me put it in a slightly different way. Alright, doesn't really matter. The size of this magnet is held back by the edge of the motor. So unfortunately I have to use this extension. I already put the track like this, but that's not going to work out, unfortunately. So I either put the motor here or somewhere there, but I have to keep the gear close, very close to the track. And I think I'll turn it around. That's the only way I think it can be done. And then I have a new challenge, how to mount it to either the plate or one of the supports right here, because I want to have the location of the track right here, otherwise it gets too narrow. So let's move the motor. Right, with new situation of the motor and a tighter chain, let's do another test. And that should be the other way around. Speed doesn't matter right now, but it could scrape the balls off. So let me put a ball right here. Would that work? One problem found here. What's wrong? Yeah, and scrape it off. Right now with the power controller I regulate the speed, but it doesn't really work out. Okay, something is not quite as I expect. The motor does run, but something is holding back. Let's try again. And that should be the other way. And there it happens. And let me show you like that. Right here, the vertical block is the magnet that is getting stuck. Oops. That is getting stuck in the grooves. And right now it's running, but it's not doing anything. So that is not very good. Let's run again. And again the magnet. So it should be like this. Okay, it should be much tighter. The chain is something to work on. And then of course the track. So let's take how many links out. If I wanted to have a tight fit, maybe 3 links more. Let's do that. And then there is a little problem, because now it appears that it turns out that the track is a bit too far away for the magnet. When I now let it run again, the track is pushed away slowly and doesn't scrape the ball of the magnet. So either I have to move the track up, or I have to find something else to do. And then for the track, which is now running like that, kind of, and that should this has now an elevation, and this has an elevation, and I should actually show it like this. And this is of course not going to run in this way, because here it definitely falls off. I have to put it like this. So here needs something as well. But if I hold it, what will happen? I hope the ball comes up right here. So let's check and see if that is going to happen. Taking the ball from the magnet, that is not going to be scraped at all. And holding it, and from the beginning, yeah, that's not going to work. So holding it more horizontal, again through the loop, once again, alright, let me then hold the linking part. Nope. That is not working out at all. So let's move the ball back into the magnet right here. I have a few problems, and yes, this is all experimenting, but interesting to see. A solution could of course be that I move this part of the track outside of the support, and then move this part of the track closer to this pole, and then I can scrape it off, hopefully, because this is rather flexible. At least the chain does work. I still have to connect it to the interface and program it, and then see whatever happens. Because right now I have to manipulate the power controller time and again to get it moving. And now that I take a straight look at the axle, you can see that it should be running that way, but it is running that way. So now the chain is actually, oops, alright, so it should run straight here. It's running here, so the chain is too tight, and maybe then it could work. Maybe, just maybe. Let's find out in the final piece of reconstruction. So with actually two parts of reconstruction, I managed to get it working. So now this is ending up straight at this pole. Two more links, red links to the chain added. That's a nice one too. And finally, to support this part of the track, I've added one piece under this block now. And that did work actually. The only thing that still doesn't work is this part of the track. So the mechanism, the chain mechanism, does work. So if I put now a magnet or a ball on the magnet and then run it, it works. And that is what I intended to do. The only thing is now the curve, how to deal with that, but that will come. So no major reconstruction on the track with this part. Can stay the way it is. And then everything will be alright, and I won't have to move the balls manually to the end of the track. And that's what it was about. So going here, let's just test it without, I have without the program, but testing these switches without the program is impossible. So let me move it back a bit and run the program. Go. Oops. That was not intended. That it was not intended either. So pressing the switch here, and yes, that is the idea. Pressing again, and that was the idea as well. Yeah, and that is because of a failing link here, just like it happens now. And again, yeah, 3 balls, so I have to press the switch, and then it moves around to the other pipe, the other part of the track. And that moves nicely. Once again for the motor. That moves nicely. Other type, yep, moves nicely too. Alright, and I think that is very nice to end with. So with 2 chains and magnets, I think that is a nice conclusion of this episode. So with a chain added, a curve to be fixed, and a wiring that needs to be at the interface instead of the power controller. Hopefully that drives the motor a lot better, because right now it's way too flaky. I thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and give the video a thumbs up. Leave a comment or suggestion, most appreciated. You can also follow me via Instagram and Twitter. Please support the blog if you like by making a donation via either PayPal or Wired. And you can also become a patron, and you may have your name mentioned depending on the pledge you make. All information about donating and more information is under this video. URL of my website as well. This is going to be continued, obviously. Have a nice day, and bye bye.